Hearing Pat McAfee cry and complain and just go on and on and on about the Indianapolis Colts this season, it reminded me of something he once said to Washington State Cougars fans not so long ago.
Like, shut up, Washington State. I'm sick of you. Wasting time on this show.
Ah, yes, who can forget when McAfee waged a war of words with Wazzu fans because they were unhappy with how everything was shaking out with the demise of the Pac-12 and essentially them being left without a conference to call home. Currently, he's extremely unhappy with the Indianapolis Colts, but he's going about his business by doing the exact same things he complained about those WSU fans doing. Actually, scratch that. Those Cougar faithful, they had a valid argument and could articulate the points they made. McAfee is just out here acting like a Karen. Let's go to X for proof of that. Let's just start with the first sentence here. As a multiple year season ticket holder, parentheses not renewing. This is classic Karen behavior. Try to make something you're doing seem important, but in reality, if what you're doing was actually important, you wouldn't need to have to tell people you were doing it in the first place. Seriously, I'm flabbergasted the next sentence here wasn't McAfee demanding to speak to the manager of Olive Garden. But wait, he claims to be an additive to Indianapolis. More classic Karen behavior here. He also calls Indy beautiful, which reeks of a white meat babyface trying to get a cheap pop from the crowd. Beautiful in comparison to what? I mean, Indianapolis is beautiful compared to a cat's fanny, I suppose, but compared to other nice cities, not so much. Indianapolis is the Midwest version of Sacramento with a really big IndyCar race, and Sacramento ain't beautiful, folks. Let's continue on, shall we? He calls out the players for being unwarrantedly arrogant, lazy, and lacking in professional, claiming they didn't want to play in the postseason. Ironically, those words he used to describe the Colts playing group this season would also accurately describe McAfee. Next up is a classic trope, trying to downplay your own accomplishments in one breath while still making yourself sound extremely important. I'm just a punter, but also nominated for the Hall of Fame. Pick a lane, jackass. Don't sit there and try to make yourself out as just some everyman. Oh, I'm just a lowly punter. And then literally a breath later, big up your own accomplishments. Dusty Rhodes didn't follow up, I'm just a son of a plumber, by stating he was also a multiple-time NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. However, the coup de grace here is that very last sentence of this tweet. I've never seen a playing group waste opportunities, talent, money more than this group. Dog, you were on an 8-8 Indianapolis Colts side that featured Andrew Luck, T.Y. Hilton, Frank Gore, and many others. A team that somehow lost to a Jacksonville Jaguars side that would go 3-13 that year. McAfee was literally on a Colts team with the exact same qualities as this year's side. If you want to be prissy at someone, be prissy at yourself for your own failures for doing the exact same thing as this Colts team did. But McAfee doesn't want to talk about that because he's a raging hypocrite. He's more than happy to ignore or overlook certain things when he's involved or people he likes are involved. Yet, when others do those same exact things, McAfee takes a huge issue with them. By the way, nothing the Colts did this season can ever match the embarrassment of that Sunday night game in 2011 when McAfee and his Colts lost to the Saints 62-7. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Pat McAfee's more than happy to admit he's not perfect, but also somehow he's always right. When you place these ramblings on the Colts side by side with his rants over Washington State fans, it makes the situation look even worse. Let's not forget when he accused those Wazzu faithful of being petty and attacking them. He actually told Washington State fans to fuck off. Everything he's doing right now with the Colts, super petty, super attacking, yet McAfee doesn't have to fuck off because he's the one being petty and he's the one doing the attacking. That makes sense. Got it. Look, here's the deal. I'm not even a Cougar. I'm an Idaho Vandal. I just happen to take a few philosophy classes over at Washington State to get my degree. What I do have, though, is a great respect for that school as a whole, even if we were rivals. Those in Pullman are not perfect, and they'll be the first to admit it. More importantly, though, they are not raging hypocrites. Well, most of them at least. Besides, Pullman, they had the dupest boomers on campus, and, well, we in Moscow had Denny's. Ugh. Anyway, for McAfee to complain about a fan base attacking him, telling him to fuck off for being petty, while doing the exact same gosh darn thing when it involves something he doesn't like is the height of hypocrisy. Pardon my French, s'il vous plaît, this is an achievement in cuntishness that is remarkably brazen. Unfortunately, the person carrying out these acts isn't intelligent enough to process that reality. In addition to McAfee's hypocrisy and his Karen-like behavior, we also need to talk about his role as an enabler. He claims that he just wants to have fun. Fun like letting people lie or just spread easily disprovable conspiracy theories. Free speech is cool unless you happen to be going after him or one of his friends. Why don't you talk about alleged scumbag Lee Fitting, Pat? You know, a guy that you're somehow associated with in 2 different workplaces. You have no issues going after Norby Williamson, but Fitting, he gets a hall pass here? Hypocrite, enabler, Karen. McAfee wants you to see him as this everyman, just a guy like you, passionate about sports, drinks beer, likes having a good time. There's nothing wrong with that per se, but you actually have to walk the walk. The former Colts punter certainly talks the talk, but then he's out here gatekeeping like some Karen in an upper middle class high school PTA meeting. You don't get to question his decisions or his actions or his takes for a guy who claims that he just wants to have fun and keep things lighthearted. That is one of the darkest, most sinister things an individual can do. McAfee styles himself after the Attitude Era, a mix of the People's Champion, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. While Jake the Snake Roberts talked about Psalms and John 3:16,
Austin 3:16 says I just whipped your ass.
The thing is, I'm an old school ECW guy, Francine 469, and that says, Pat McAfee, go fuck yourself. You're nothing but a hypocrite, an enabler, and a Karen. You've made sports discourse in this country much, much worse, and you ruined college game day. Okay, so I believe the back of that Francine 469 shirt actually said, I just licked your ass, but that would have been really confusing. Classic 90s ECW, by the way, though. At the end of the day, Colts 7, Saints 62. That's what this is all about. Nothing the Indianapolis team did this season or any season since McAfee left will ever match that embarrassing, half-hearted performance you were featured in. McAfee can make all of the excuses he wants about that game or all of the other failings during his own time with the Colts, but just remember, he also doesn't want to hear excuses. Wait, I'm still not entirely sure how that works out. I guess you don't need logic when you're just a happy-go-lucky fun guy. By the way, his complaints also totally different than what those Wazzu fans were doing as well. The logic of a male Karen, what you gonna do, brother? Thank you though for watching this video. If you'd like to learn more about the absolute worst sporting moments of 2024, we'll check out the video on your screen now. Until next time, I am Cheyenne Hollis. This is The Touchback. This is for the Triple Threat. And as always, hashtag take it out to the 25.